Hi neighborhood, my name is Emily Carney. I was born and raised Catholic, but during my confirmation year at St. Mary's, I decided to step away from the Catholic faith. For me, it felt impersonal and filled with rituals that were beautiful but didn't make sense to me. For the next 20 years, through college, marriage, my career, and raising kids, I did all the Jesus things. I went to Bible studies, went to different churches, read articles and books and devotionals. I talked the talk and believed what I thought I needed to believe, and genuinely loved God to the extent I was capable of. But if I'm honest, I really didn't know how to truly experience His presence. I knew who Jesus was, but I hadn't let Him be Jesus for me. I didn't know how to trust, surrender, or find my identity in Him. Anxiety, fear, and panic attacks have been a huge part of my story since my teenage years. I feared death, loss, loneliness, illness. I had a lot of fear. I believed that if I stayed in control, I could keep suffering at bay, that bad things wouldn't happen in my life. But in 2016, everything changed. The world went dark. I faced constant panic attacks, despair, weight loss, just a total loss of identity. I was a shell of myself. I didn't know what was happening. So for 8 months, I walked through what felt like a dark night of the soul. But for the first time in my life, I truly sought after Jesus with a surrendered, broken, desperate heart. And in that darkness, He spoke to me through His word, His people, and His undeniable presence. He began healing me. I didn't understand why this was all happening and what I was even healing from. It was very confusing, but I did sense that the treasures I was finding in that darkness would be used for His glory. Then, just a month later, my sister, my best friend in the world, and one of the most loving people I've ever known, was diagnosed with glioblastoma, the deadliest form of brain cancer. She was given 6 to 18 months to live with a 2% chance of surviving for 2 years. I believe that it was only because of the wilderness season I had just walked through that I was prepared to pray bold prayers, hold on to God's promises, and witness His divine interventions. Miraculously, my sister is still alive 8 years later. This journey has been one of holding staggering grief and tremendous joy at the same time. We've seen glimpses of heaven and undeniable evidence of God's faithfulness that we never would have known without these battles. So I don't walk through life perfectly at all. I still struggle with fear and stubbornness and the temptation to carry burdens that I should surrender. But now Jesus is my first thought in the morning and the one I thank for every good thing in my life. I listen for His voice in the quiet. I surrender to Him because the more I know Jesus, the more I know I never want to live without Him. Our family began attending neighborhood church when Steve Harms was lead pastor, and after his passing, we visited other churches but always found our way back here. There's something about the people, the warmth, the sermons, and the worship that has met us right where we are, whether in seasons of gratitude or times of clinging to hope. My daughters were baptized here and went on a missions trip to Costa Rica through neighborhood, and over time we've realized that this is home. My name is Emily Carney, and today I'm going public.